Thank you for pressing play, and welcome to another episode of
FanKingHaters,
your weekly fantasy show where we dish out hate on those players that mess up your DraftKings or your FanDuel lineup. I'm Marcus the Greek, and to my right,
Melodic,
to my left,
Masada One.
and you can follow us during the games on DraftKings. We're going to get right into our hates from last week, and I'm going to start the hating off because I got to give Messiah the props again, you know.
Sour face time.
He called it, so my hate is my groins, mine, and my receiving core.
All three of them.
All three of them. You heard him say it. If you watched the show last week, you know who we're talking about.
All three of them. We don't even need to say their names. They don't deserve their names to be said
Not
on the air.
especially one of them. Oh, okay. Anyway, Sai, who you hating on this week?
I'm hating on Marquise Wilson, one of the guys that he couldn't say the guy was zero. But what I'm going to hate on is both the quarterbacks that I talked about in my lineups. Kaepernick, who got benched and only threw for 4 yards.
And how many did he rush for?
20.
Ooh.
He rushed for more yards than he threw for a quarterback. And I guess I should have paid attention to the weather to know that should have been a factor. But still, come on, man. It's snowing on both sides of the ball.
Yes,
so
sir.
Can't make an excuse. Matt Barkley was my other quarterback who didn't know they was playing in the snow, but he didn't do much but get 7.98. But he didn't have to do anything because Howard went off and got 3 touchdowns, which kept him had to throw the ball.
Yeah, carried that line up. As much as I hate to admit it, you was in the green. We know. So, do you have any hates?
yes, Aniwa.
Ooh.
Alphabet soup is what they call him.
2 points, I think you said?
2 points.
Could have had more money,
2
more
points.
money.
Mm-hmm.
So, since you was in the green, we're going to let you go first.
Okay.
What's your lineup this week?
Bring out the guns. Kirk Cousins.
We like that play.
Ken Folk.
We like that play, Kim
Folk.
Folk.
Bring him out. We're going to... Eagles. It's a rivalry game. You got to pick one or the other. I don't like the Eagles just because personally I'm a Dallas fan. I don't really like Redskins.
You know he was going to somehow, some
why.
way sneak the Cowboys in.
Either way.
They
Either
always
way.
gotta find a way to get into
I got
some
Melvin
topic.
Gordon and D. Johnson as my running backs like always.
You're reliable
I
backfield.
got somebody new to me, T. Gabriel, Atlanta.
To him. Why do
Me.
you...
But,
To him.
but he's been familiar to the show for quite
Yes,
some time.
yes.
He's a fan of the show.
Yes, personally to me, it's the first time picking him, so I'm rolling. I got Pierre Garçon
The black Frenchman.
going
returned.
against the Eagles. Like I said, he's a veteran. It's going to be cold, Philly. Let's do this.
I wasn't really expecting to hear him say Jamison Crowder because that's who he's been been riding on. But you know what? It could be that week where Crowder falls off. But Crowder did find the end zone again this last week.
He did.
So
That might be
He
your
did.
hate.
He
Yeah,
did.
just
Garçon,
someone to
like
think
I
about it.
Like I said, the veteran in the cold.
And it's his lineup, but hey, if anybody's thinking about using that pick, also think about Crowder though. I think that wouldn't be a bad pickup.
I got Inman going down to Carolina. I think he'll be all right. Carolina don't really have defense or an offense like we were talking about in previous shows.
Okay.
I got Delaney Walker as my tight end.
I like that play. Just because I hate to admit our Broncos aren't good against tight ends, so I like that play.
And then I got Tyler Boyd, right?
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd
I like that play too.
as my flex. Cincinnati. They're going against Cleveland. Come on now.
Cleveland has given up at least 3 touchdowns to receivers in I think 3 to 4 games, right?
Trap game.
Trap game, hater.
Cleveland's on show out. It'd be funny to see if it happens. Cool. If it doesn't, oh well. At least I could have said it before it did happen.
Hey. Lions as my defense.
I think that's going to be
I'm going
your
out.
hate.
Detroit, inside, going against Chicago. Who does Chicago got? Nobody. Can you name who? Linebackers? Can you name an offensive player?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
name
an
an offensive
offensive
player for
player.
sure.
Okay.
Jordan Howard, the
Okay.
name one.
Okay. But
The
can
other
you
one
name
who got
one?
me zero last week.
Okay.
Marquise Wilson.
Meredith.
But can you name one that's relevant and bringing them fantasy points and wins? No.
Jordan Howard.
No, but the only reason why you're picking them, I think, is because of last week's snow game. Before the last week's snow game, they were on fire. The Bears were doing good. They were putting up
No,
numbers.
I'm calling BS on that.
You know what? This is how I feel about this lineup. If you guys really was paying attention, this guy's been having a hard time getting his words out, and I think he's having a little bit. He's almost about to throw up because it's that bad.
And you know what? We're gonna get to that. Messiah, let's hear your lineups. Let's see if there's any similarities.
Well, hey, y'all see the beanie, you see the hoodie, man. Hey, it's freezing down here in Texas, and I'm coming with that heat and nothing but that fire. So I'm going with Big Ben at my quarterback.
All right.
I got the muscle hamster at my running back, going against the Saints.
Great pick.
The Buck Cowboy fan.
Going with DeMarco Murray. He's on like that because he's an ex-Cowboy.
But why DeMarco Murray? Let him know, really. Why?
DeMarco Murray is the sneakiest fan play that you have as a running back. He's consistent with
the fantasy assassin.
Man, he's been 20. He's double digits every game. So I picked him, even though he's going against the Broncos. They're not really doing that well against the run.
Yeah.
I think them losing their linebackers really hurt their defense, even though they still.
I don't talk about.
But hey, he's a fan, so.
I don't talk about it.
And receiver, I went with T. Gabriel. I've been riding with him for a few weeks, and he's in my own personal.
That was another Messiah prophecy this season. If you keep up with the show, you know that.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's in my regular fantasy league. And
he's in the playoffs, so you know we know what we're talking about.
Hey, as long as I get in there, it's a whole new season. Hey, my other receiver, I got Brandon Marshall.
Ooh, that might be a hate.
And my other receiver, I got T. Williams for San Diego going against Carolina.
Okay.
I went ahead and used Brat as my tight end going against New Orleans. Okay. I do have him in my personal fantasy league, so I'm trying to use that.
Again, he's in the playoffs, so we know what we're talking about.
It may be a hate, but he's been consistent. If you guys pay attention, that he's in the top 10 tight ends in the leagues across everything right now. And in my flex, I went with D. Emmon.
Ooh, okay. 2 San Diego receivers?
2 of them, because I feel like they don't have two cornerbacks to stop either one of them.
Okay.
So
that might be your hate. I think that might be your hate.
We might find out. And in defense, I went with Cincinnati going against Cleveland.
Hey, you know, a rule on the show. You whatever defense the Browns are playing, you put it against them. I had to copy him, I guess, if we're going to say that. Or, you know, he's struggling getting that lineup out. I went with Kirk Cousins too. I went with Ken Folk. Okay. Like we said, he was on fire prior
That's
to.
That's not a copy, bro. That's just I know what
fact.
I'm doing.
It's a good play.
He was in the green, so he must know what he's doing. I went with Carlos Hyde. You know, Jets crossing the globe, as they say in the NFL. They don't play good, just the time zone thing. So I think that's a good play.
I think it might be a hate just because Carlos Hyde is a damn good running back, but Carlos Hyde's problem is staying healthy.
Yeah,
I think
he's gonna get hurt in the game.
It just seems like he gets hurt every week.
Okay. I'm throwing out Thomas Rawls.
Hate.
No, that boy's
no. They hate early. Hate. I think Green Bay. You know, they started out as a good pass defense, but I think that was more about who they were playing. Recently, they look good too, but I think that was more about their playing.
I think just Seattle going into Lambeau Field now at this time of year. Seattle is cold and it's off the ocean, but Lambeau's a whole
different
ball
cold.
game.
Well,
it's
you know,
a whole other monster.
They gave up 157 to Zeke, 127 to DeMarco, and 137 to Robert Kelly. You know, they give up points to good running backs, so that's why I went with that. I don't like playing Green Bay receivers because they're like Patriot receivers to me because they spread the ball around so much. But I went with Devontae Adams this week. I think it's his week.
And you know what? Not only is his week, besides Jordan Nelson, he's the only consistent receiver because Randall Cobb has fell off.
Yes, I know. I have him in personal fantasy. I also went with Tyler Boyd like you. Again, he showed up last week, and I think he showed why they were so high on him. So I think he has a good game. Even though he made Messiah's neck green last time he had him, I'm rolling him out. I'm going with Golden Tate.
I got him in another lineup, so I think it's a good pick.
And Marvin Jones just seemed to disappear. Like
he's another one that's been hurt.
This guy over here, he's hating hard tonight.
Yep.
And then I went with Graham as my tight end. I think him and Danger Russ are peaking at the right time. And Green Bay secondary is worse than their run defense. So I think he has a big game. And then if I remember right, I kind of heard this stat. I think I heard the stat anyway, that Moncrief has scored in every game he's played except 2 with luck.
Is that my third hate on you?
I think so, man.
I think it is.
No more for you.
You know, this is just getting out of hand with this.
Three's company,
stuff,
man.
Just hating. Yeah, you just hating. We're going to have a side bet off camera. And then, let me see if you two can guess y'all's favorite fantasy defense.
Minnesota Vikings.
I went with the Minnesota Vikings again. Another team that we say on the show, if you're playing and you can get a defense against them, put them in a lineup. That's Jacksonville. Minnesota against Jacksonville. That's my lineup for the week. But Messiah, we know you're a professional fantasy players, so to speak. So, is there anybody else you want to hate on this week or right now? The basketball lineup tonight you might have had earlier this week.
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm a pro because I'm not getting paid at this. I'm more like a semi-pro. I'm like Will Ferrell in this thing. You know what I mean? Because it has to be blasphemy sometimes when you look at these lineups and you pick these lineups in basketball. But basketball is a very, very intense and very addicting. But I gotta say today, I'm very upset with the beige guy from Golden State.
Oh, one of the waffle boys, as we call them.
Well, I'm not talking about Steph. I'm talking about Clay.
The Sperry boys, the beige boys.
The boy goes up and hits 60 something points the other night.
Yeah.
I don't even need 60.
You just want what, half of that?
Man, I'll be happy with 20.
Not even.
What did he get you?
I got 19 DraftKings points, when in reality means that you probably did less than 10 points in the game. So, hey, other than that, man, basketball's been good. I've been winning in basketball. If there's a way for us to stream basketball, I'd definitely like to do that because I definitely have some lineups that are coming together with basketball. But the one reason we have this show is because I brought up Randall Cobb. Mark my words. Randall Cobb is gonna go off.
Yeah, so if you catch this in time, put him in the lineup.
Man, I'm telling you, just because I said that he's having a bad game, he's gonna have a good game.
As always, thank you for pressing play. You can follow us on Twitter at FanKingHaters. What's that?
Instagram at FanKingHaters.
How for that going?